Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is another episode of the Hillbilly Think Tank here in Tunnel Hills, Elizabethtown, Kentucky, Hardin County. I am the Hillbilly Think Tank, this is Spencer Keck, and I am running for magistrate in the 3rd District. Well, turns out, I guess it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. We had some snow last night. Thank goodness, didn't get very deep here in Elizabethtown, just deep enough for me not to have to go teach today, which was fun, have a day off. But in other interesting news, a Kentucky woman expecting medication delivery received fingers and hands in the mail. Can you imagine that? Got some body parts delivered to her through her medication delivery system. Oh my gosh, that was down in Hopkinsville, not just a hop, skip, and a jump from here. I guess the company somehow made a mistake between medications and fingers and hands that were intended for medical training. So those body parts got sent back after the coroner in Christian County came and stored them until they were retrieved. And the woman ultimately ended up getting her correct package. I'm sure they express delivered it. Merry Christmas. And sorry, Trump, it wasn't finger licking good. But it's not Kentucky Fried Chicken or Kentucky Fried Fingers. It was human fingers. Anywho, in our ongoing news here, we're all starting to still worry now that SK has pulled out of the battery plant. Like I was saying yesterday, 1,400 people here in Hardin County are employed at that battery plant, largest battery plant that there is for EVs. I am very concerned about this. That is a lot of what we're banking on for getting what we need here in this county. You know, that's a great revenue source for us if we can keep it going. So I pledge, if I'm elected, 6 months after I'm elected, I'm going to buy either a Ford Lightning, or if they've come out with that small pickup EV that they're planning on making, I'll buy that. If not, then definitely within the next 4 to 5 years, when I've paid off my current EV, I'm going to go ahead and get a Lightning. I want to make sure that this blue oval that Ford has going stays viable. Ford's got control of it now. Can't afford to see this go under. You know, this is America, and this is American labor. This is Hardin County labor, Kentucky labor. So we just can't afford to see that, right, go downhill. Brent Campbell, good to see you there. Definitely good to see you there. And in the comments here. Well, on the other side of our economy, military expenditures down there in Venezuela and the Caribbean are still getting, crazier. It looks like we're going to be having a war in Venezuela. We know that the jets are flying over Venezuela as we speak, military fighter jets, Navy fighter jets. That's a bit worrisome. And, again, that's just taxpayers' money being used in ways that we can't afford for it to be used. We need for it to be used here in our county and our state and all the other states in the union. We need to save our economy, keep it going. And we're not going to be helping U.S. taxpayers by using that tax money in a war that we don't have any business going to. And we're not going to save EVs if we keep on spending billions just to get all the oil from Venezuela, right? So let's get real serious and start worrying about Americans first. Truly put Americans first. And to do that, we need to start with Hardin County, right? Bring back those tax incentives for EVs. those tax incentives for EVs ensure that more people are buying the Ford Lightning, buying the electric Mustang. Talked to a Mustang owner. He was saying he's had Mustangs for years, been in the Mustang club years and years. This guy was in his 70s. And he said that the only one that has made his hair go back when he's driving really bad is the EV. Matter of fact, he got a ticket in it. First time he's ever had one in a Mustang because he just didn't realize how fast he was going, really putting the hair back. So he said he loved it. I love the looks of that electric Mustang. And, I'll consider buying one, but right now I've got a 4-door Bolt EV, EUV hatchback, and I want that to be my kid's college car. The youngest one's going to go off to college here pretty soon. So, about 4 years, she will. And I would like to have an electric truck. So that's my biggest goal. And I'm going to make sure that it is a Kentucky-made vehicle, or at least that the battery is Kentucky-made. So I want that Lightning. All right, y'all. Tell me what you think. Could we do better with our taxpayers' money? Or are we all looking forward to this war in Venezuela so we can get all their oil, help out Chevron, help out BP, help out all those corporations that want to run down there and take control of those oil fields, I'm just not for it. Definitely, I'm sure some people are, but again, like I said, we're not funding the VA properly. So why do we need another war that's going to bring more Americans disabilities that taxpayers just don't ever pay for properly? We defund the VA. That was the first thing that Doge did when this president came into office, was run amok in the VA. I've told you before about one of my best friends in California who's working for the VA, hurting bad. Another friend of mine who, was waiting for benefits forever. He couldn't get his benefits looked at because they had sacked all the people that review whether or not a veteran should get benefits. And this guy has been needing treatment for a long time, but the VA wasn't giving it to him because he hadn't had his disability reviewed. Well, we need to get back to taking care of veterans, taking care of this county, and bring back those EV incentives. So when people buy that EV, they'll be good to go. All right. So, hey, hoping no more folks have fingers or hands delivered to them in Hopkinsville when they're expecting to have their medications delivered to them. Let's have a wonderful Christmas season, and hope y'all got your shopping done. I know I've only got a little bit of it done. Love your neighbors as yourself. We are brother's keeper, our sister's keeper. God bless your corazón.